Let me now bring in retired U.S. Army National Guard Major General John F. King and Majid Sadeghpour, political director for the Organization of Iranian-American Communities. Gentlemen, good morning to you. General, let me start with you and something I was talking about with an earlier guest this morning, the latest where we stand, that we're now waking up to an extended ceasefire, indefinite, by the way. No second round of talks happened yesterday. Where does that put us in the war this morning?
Oh, good morning, Mark. It's really not a great deal of change. Basically, our military is refining their targeting process, continuing to do a more refined in case the president orders a re-engagement. Right now, the challenge in the region is that it's difficult to figure out who is in charge. You have the IRGC, and then you have the Speaker of the House, and you have also the Foreign Ministry, and they're not speaking as one. And so that's one of the issues, is adding a great deal of complexity. In addition, the local commanders seem to be exercising their own prerogative to engage ships coming through the strait, which adds even more complexity. In the meanwhile, the United States Navy is crushing the economy of Iran. No ships are going into the Iranian ports, and so the economy is suffering tremendously. And this pressure will continue mounting as time goes on.
You know, Majid, we led the top of the show with the breaking news that you've got at least 3 cargo and container ships that have been struck already this morning in the Strait of Hormuz, hours after that extended ceasefire took place. In your eyes, how is that complicating efforts to get both sides back to the table at some point?
You'll have to kind of look at it from the regime's perspective. Look, the regime is facing a population and dissent inside Iran, and sees a continuation and prolongation of this conflict as its shield. In fact, that is what the regime has been doing for decades, for 45 years, creating external conflict to shield it from internal uprising. There have been at least 5 nationwide uprisings since 2017, and none of those problems that were occurring at the time has been resolved, and in fact, they are worse. The Achilles heel of the regime, it's a underground organized opposition movement that is ready to overthrow it. And so it sees the prolongation of this conflict and dredging the negotiations as long as it can as a survival tool. So the pressure on the regime will weaken it, but it will not change its behavior, will not bring it to its knees. It must be changed, and for that, you'll need to get an end to this conflict, and for that, you don't need bombs. What you do need is an organized opposition, kinetic capability on the streets of Iran, and leadership. And that is why this infrastructure that already exists in the MEK resistance units inside Iran, which, by the way, have had over 4,000 operational activities since in 2025. You need a political body in the National Council of Resistance of Iran that already exists. You need a provisional government that it already has introduced. Its president-elect Maryam Rajavi has introduced. That infrastructure, that battle-tested, combat-ready organization is what needs political structure so we can get an end to this conflict, because the conflict began with the regime in Iran really 45 years ago when it started killing the people of Iran, and it will end with its overthrow by the people of Iran and their organized resistance.
General, how do you see this all ending, and especially now that there's no time ticking down to any specific deadline? And at some point, do you see the U.S. military resuming those strikes in this extended ceasefire?
Mark, I think the military is going to have to go back in and start engaging and really going after some of these key leaders who are the obstacles to the process that Majid just described. I think that is going to be the key to resolving this issue on a permanent basis. But I think the conditions will have to deteriorate a little bit more, and especially going after. I know I'm pretty sure the Israelis and American target intelligence officers are really looking at those key folks who are obstacles. And so, if I was them, I would be I would be staying underground pretty much.
And General, let me just follow up one more thing with you. You told me last month that Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a clear test to our allies. At this point, with Iran refusing to reopen it, our naval blockade is still in place. Do you think we need to put more pressure on NATO to step in and help us out?
It really, I agree. I mean, NATO is the one that is probably suffering a great deal behind the folks in the region. I think NATO is gasping right now for an opportunity to engage and try to make up for their error in strategy in not engaging, because it's their oil, but not only they, but also Asia, who is suffering the most as a result of this blockade.
Major General John F. King, Majid Sadeghpour, thank you so much, as always, for your time and expertise, gentlemen. Appreciate it.